and so you guys are going to kind of see how things progress there. Okay, so again, this chapter is called Sweaty Pop-Tarts. What are you wearing, Eve? Erica asks me, biting into a blueberry Pop-Tart. We're standing at our lockers. Erica and I have been friends since elementary school. She's pretty with flaming red hair, green eyes, and pale skin. Based on our race and complexion, we are the unlikely friendship as far as most people would be concerned, but we get along just fine. What do you mean? I asked, looking down at my jean skirt, black leggings, and form-fitted black top and flat shoes. I think I look cute. You do, she says, taking a moment to swallow the food in her mouth. But you know that AJ's going to be heated about what you're wearing. You know everyone is going to look at you. You think so? I asked, my heart starting to beat a little. AJ and I have been official for about 3 months now, and it's getting harder and harder to know what will make him mad. At first he seemed to like my style, but lately he's been really weird about my clothes. I'll put it this way, Kevin would have an issue if I wore that. She wipes a piece of blueberry from the corner of her mouth. Erica never eats breakfast in the morning, so by second period she's stuffing anything edible into her mouth. Erica, I don't see what the problem is. It's not like I'm walking around with skanky clothes on. I'm probably more dressed than half the senior class. I look at what Erica has on. A large t-shirt and jeans. Since when did she start looking like a soccer mom? Well, I guess you had me beat. Ha ha, she laughs sarcastically, but I can tell that I hit a nerve. Erica has always been well dressed, but slowly she's been looking pretty dowdy by wearing clothes that are way too big for her. Well, at least my man isn't pushing people out of the way to get to me. She nods her head to something behind me. I turn just in time to see AJ barreling through a group of ninth graders. He and Kevin are friends, so Kevin is right behind him. I smile at me as he comes closer. When he's standing in front of me, he hands me his gym t-shirt. Put this on, he says, shoving it toward me. Why? I ask. The last thing I want to do is put on a smelly gym shirt. Eve, he says in a warning tone, just put it on. AJ, I don't know why I need to put it on. I mean, you bought this skirt for me for Christmas, remember? You look like a slut, Eve, AJ speaks so loudly that the hum that is normally in the hallway between classes dies instantly. You look like a hoe, and I don't want people looking at you like that. Now put that t-shirt on. I can feel dozens of eyes looking at me, and I just know that this is going to be all over school by the end of next period. I take the shirt just to keep the peace. I quickly scan the crowd and see Erica standing by her locker. She's holding half a Pop-Tart, and there's sympathy written all over her face. I start to hear whispers go through the crowd, and I just want to be anywhere but here. I guess I'm going to put the t-shirt on, but I don't want to do it right here with everybody looking at me after AJ just called me a hoe. Put it on, AJ says through his teeth. He leans real close to my ear and says, don't be a spoiled witch about it. I put on the t-shirt. It's still damp from AJ's sweat and has a faint musty smell. I can't believe that he expects me to wear this all day. My gaze falls on Kai Trey, and I know that he is going to say something smart, but he surprises me by distracting AJ instead. Yo, AJ, you ready for the game tonight? It was the final day of the basketball season. AJ and I both play on the school basketball team. I'm really prissy, but I'm good at basketball and I love the sport. I've always had a hard time relating to kids my age, so when I started playing sports in the 4th grade, this was a place where we all got along. There was a definite excitement in the air because this is the last basketball game of the season, and the boys and girls both have home games tonight. Man, you know I'm ready, AJ and Katre slap hands. The question is, are you ready? You were the one shooting air balls last game. AJ gives me a quick once-over and nods his head in approval before planting a dry kiss on my lips. I'll see you at lunch, baby girl. I give AJ a slight smile. I don't really know what else to do. My feelings are hurt from the things that he said, but I don't want him to be mad at me, so I just try to shake it off. Katre gives me a look that I don't understand, but again, he doesn't say anything dumb. He just walks off with AJ. Chapter 5, the AJ that I love. What's wrong with you? AJ asks. You pissed about the game? I guess. I answer, staring out the window. It's after the game and he's driving me home. My parents and sister came to the game and the girls lost by 4 points. It was a good game, but with this being the last game I'll ever play in high school, I'm a little bummed about losing. What do you mean you guess? He looks at me sideways. Either you're mad or you're not. I don't say anything. I just stare out the window. This is been a long day, and I'm ready to just crawl into bed. I had hoped that my parents would have made me ride home with them, but they let AJ drive me home. My feelings are really mixed up. After everything that has happened today, I really don't want to be with him anymore, but I'm not ready to give up on him yet. I saw you with Cherie, I say finally. Cherie and I used to be acquaintances until she found out that AJ and I were going out. Then all of a sudden I was a horrible person. I didn't even know she liked him. She never mentioned it before, but she conveniently pops up everywhere. Our locker, the library, Sam's Pizzeria, the basketball game, and then the boys' locker room. What? He asked. Don't try to act like you don't know what I'm talking about, I say firmly, not knowing where I'm suddenly getting all this bravado from. But I'm mad. I've been waiting for AJ to come out of the locker room. He likes for me to wait for him. AJ was the last one to leave the locker room, and when he came out, Cherie suddenly appeared dressed in a short black skirt and 3-inch heels. She whispered something to him that he thought was funny, and he slapped her butt. I'm not sure if he saw me standing next to the door or not, but I'm embarrassed for the second time today. Who do you think you're talking to? He asked, pushing his finger into the side of my head. My head snaps to the right from the force of his finger. I saw you touch her butt, AJ. I whined instead of answering his question. I don't want him to be mad at me. No, I didn't, he says, looking at me as if I shouldn't even be confronting him. I just can't believe that this is happening. I never thought that AJ would treat me like this. AJ, I was standing right next to the door. She whispered something to you, and you smacked her butt. Cherie is a hoe. I wouldn't be caught dead touching her. I saw you, I press on in a whisper. Evelyn, why are you questioning me anyway? He glances at me. Did you ever think to yourself that if I did slap Cherie on the butt, it was because you don't let me do anything but rub yours? I don't say anything. I mean, when are you going to be ready? He asks. How did we start talking about sex? I think to myself, but I still don't say anything. I must have been crazy to start dating some church girl who doesn't know what to do with the body that God gave her. Tears sting my eyes for the umpteenth time that day, and I fight to keep them at bay. We're driving on the one-lane highway leading up to my house. It's 9 o'clock at night and dark outside, so I just stare out the window and I watch the lights of the oncoming traffic. Eve, I swear you like making me mad. I can see why all the boyfriends that you had have broken up with you. I'm unable to hide the tear that slides down my face. Are you crying? AJ says loudly. No, I lie. I just want to get out of the car and away from AJ. Yes, you are! He screams before turning the car into the lane with oncoming traffic. I scream and I hear the screech of car wheels all around me. It feels like we spin a few times and finally the car stops moving, but I'm still screaming. Shut up! AJ's voice matches my screams. Shut up right now, Eve. I stop screaming, but now I'm crying and I'm shaking. Stop crying! He screams again. And then everything turns into a kaleidoscope of colors. Yellows and red whirl before my eyes and I see stars. When the moment ends, I'm curled up in the seat, shaking uncontrollably and holding my face. I'm sorry, AJ says quickly. I'm so sorry, Eve. When I don't say anything, he touches my arm. And I jump as if he has singed my skin. Whoa, he says in a low voice, are you scared of me now? You hit me, I say. AJ, you hit me! I look at him with fire blazing in my eyes. Eve, I tell you all the time not to push me. First you accuse me of doing something that I didn't do, and then you try to make me feel bad by crying. Why do you always push me to this point? I don't answer him. I can't stop shaking. He leans forward as if to kiss me, and I turn my face to the window. He tries to pull me to him, and I refuse to let him do so. Eve, he says in a scratchy voice. He sounds like he's crying, so I look at him. His eyes are full of remorse. I'm sorry, Eve, it was an accident. He tries to give me a small kiss on the lips, but I turn my face and he gets my cheek. When I don't return the kiss, he gets out of the car and walks around to my door. I can see cars whizzing by, and a part of me wishes that I was in one of those cars. He opens my door, pulls me out of the car, and wraps me in his arms. I love you, he says, holding my arms until I give in and embrace him on my own. Okay, I say simply. I love you, he repeats. All right, is my response. Say it back, he says, kissing my forehead, then my eyelids. Tell me you love me back, he says, kissing the corners of my lips. A car whizzes by and a boy hangs out the window and shouts, "Get her done!" I swear, people are so stupid.